Welcome to the Camp Guys, a podcast where we talk about the ins and outs of camp ministry. My name is Grayson Phillips, and in each episode, I'm going to lead us as we talk about different challenges we face in camp ministry and how we overcome them. So let's dive right into today's episode. What's up, everybody? Today in the studio, we are joined with Jay Oliver, the Executive Director of Crowder's Camps. What's up, Jay?
What's up, everybody? Listen, before we even get started, big apology for Season 2. The podcast just crashed in Season 2. We apologize for that. It had a lot to do with just what was going on here at the time, getting ready for camp, but then COVID-19 happened. And it just kind of just messed everything up. So we do apologize for that. But we promise you, Grayson, we're making a promise right now to our podcast listeners that we're going to put out a substantial amount of content.
Yes.
But today we're going to jump right into COVID-19 relief. That I believe everybody's still dealing with that. I mean, we're at the very end of August here, and schools kind of started back. You know, everybody knows it's either virtual or whatever. But I wanted to share today, Grayson, our guidelines, our principles that we followed as we kind of navigated COVID-19. These things really gave us principles that we didn't have to think much about. And I want to share them with you, and we may be a day late, dollar short of sharing these, but that's okay, because you may be able to grab some of these now. If you're out there listening, you're in Texas or wherever you're listening at, you may be able to grab some of these and still apply these principles in your ministry as you're still battling through COVID-19. All right, so we had 4 guiding principles that we've set up, and a friend of mine helped me set these up, so I'll give credit where credit is due with John. But I heard these, I manipulated them a little bit to fit where I believe God was calling us. But principle number 1 during COVID-19, from being shut down for 2.5 months to over almost 5,000 cancellations we had in student campers this year, we were able to redo our program, and we saw another 1,200 kids attend camp, 0 COVID-19 cases. But through all that, the first thing we did in our guiding principles is we trust the Lord. We just knew that God was going to take care of us. We saw our bank account happen the same thing you did. 0, right? No income for weeks, months. So we had to trust the Lord, and I'm so thankful we have such an awesome staff. Some of those guys really bit the bullet for us, and all of them continue to work from Zoom. We had Zoom meetings, twice a week, Grayson.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Grayson would come in his pajamas and just be hanging out on Zoom. But we were still grinding, man. I mean, but we trust the Lord. We knew God was going to do something. We were still planning overnight camps during the first part of COVID-19 shutdowns. But we just trust the Lord. Hey, we're going to use this. Number 2, we trust our local health officials, the CDC, the health department. We were basically foaming out the mouth, waiting on those guidelines to come in. They finally came in. We were able to jump on those and trust those guys, even though it was hard. Boy, was it hard. Yeah. How do you social distance in a cabin? I mean, seriously, middle school boys hardly even take showers at camp, much less wash their hands.
Exactly.
So we, all of us in camp ministry across the country are like, how do we do this? Well, again, going back to principle number 1, just trust the Lord, and then just trust these guys with the health department and CDC. The third thing we're going to get hot and heavy on was to value people, our groups, our individuals, knowing that we are a 6-year-old camp. Some of you guys are sitting in places where you've been around 50, 60 years and everything's paid for. You have no debt. We're a very young camp, 6 years in. There's several things that we have to pay for, and deposits work in our operational costs here. Some of you guys are able to take those deposits, put them in a nest egg, and bring them into your operating budget once camp gets there, and you may have been able to refund. my first thought was, man, we're not going to be able to refund any of this money. There's just no way. You know, we're going to break a lot of relationships through this because COVID-19 was nobody's fault. But the words came up, value people. And so we ended up giving out credits to every group that canceled, which sets us back for probably another year and a half on that income. But we're in a situation where every customer we had, every kid, every group is in good standing with us because we valued them. The last thing we did, last principle, so first one was trust the Lord, second one was trust local officials, third one is value people, and the last one was do everything possible to allow camp to happen, and we did. We provided guidelines to our groups over and over again as they were made, and we did everything possible to make sure camp happened. So some of you out there, you totally changed up your programming too. Well, what we did was as soon as we got the day camp guidelines, we opened up day camps in June. We went all the way through June doing day camps and a new program called Crowders One Day. So we're really group based. Yeah. So we wanted to give an opportunity for groups to come to our camp and experience camp for one day. We saw those do really, really well. Like I said, we went from almost 5,000 individual cancellations to still being able to hold another 1,200 kids here at camp that attended with 0 COVID-19 cases. We did have 2 staff people that went off campus, came back, and they developed symptoms both on the same day. But we truly believe they got that in Greenville, North Carolina, and not here. So we did really well in protecting our kids and campers from COVID-19. But from day camp all the way to 1 days, and then we finished up the summer with 2 back-to-back overnight camps, probably at 50 or 40, sometimes maybe first week was maybe 35% capacity. Yeah. We hold around 400 at every camp, and we had about 150, 175 one week, 145 the first week. So, numbers were down significantly, but we were able to do it, and we saw hundreds of kids respond to surrender to the ministry call. We saw over 30 first-time salvations, and I'm so proud of our team because we did everything possible to make sure camp was going to happen. Then, we make it through camp, and then something terrible happens. August begins. We have all these school groups booked in August. We have some retreats booked in August, and everybody starts canceling. August literally felt like March for us because everybody's canceled. And September's starting to look a lot like that too. So again, now our staff has rebooted again, and we've created another program called Recess, going on the lines of this distance learning. So the next episode we discuss will be about Recess and how we joined in with a local school system to create a program that can bring us in revenue in a time where we were dead, and hopefully ignite some sparks in kids' lives. Exactly. So check out the next episode on season 3.